They told you to be kind, to be open, to be vulnerable, and you believed them. You let their words slide into your mind like warm syrup, comforting and slow until weakness began to feel like a virtue. You were taught that kindness was power, that openness was strength, that to reveal your heart was to win trust. But what has that bought you? While you reached out your hands, they sharpened their teeth. While you waited to be acknowledged, they took from you in silence. No permission asked, no recognition given. Just silence and loss. The world does not reward softness, it devours it. And here you are, still standing, still bleeding in public, still hoping someone will stop, notice your wounds, and offer mercy. But mercy isn't the currency of this world. It is not the language of power. Respect is not born from your suffering. It is carved out of control, forged in silence, built through the ruthless willingness to burn the script you were given, the one that trained you to kneel. You were trained to wait, to ask, to obey. You were given a framework to keep you tame, predictable, docile. They wrapped it in morals and sold it as goodness. Be kind, be patient, be agreeable. But that script wasn't written for your rise. It was written to cage you. You obeyed it like a loyal dog. But loyalty without power is slavery. The emotional code you inherited, the one that tells you to over-explain, to always connect, to beg to be understood. It's a virus, and if you want to ascend, you must purge it. No king was voted into power. No ruler emerged through consensus. He rises through design, through fire, through isolation. And if the thought of that makes you feel alone, good. That discomfort, that cold silence around you, it's your awakening. You're not supposed to feel safe right now. You're supposed to feel ready. This is not the era of healing. This is the era of demolition, of stripping away the skin of your former self, the one who hesitated, the one who waited to be invited. He dies now. And from his ashes, something else rises. Not a better man, but a different kind. One who knows power isn't given, it's seized. And softness? Softness has a price. And you've paid it long enough. Let them test you. Let them misunderstand you. Confusion is your armor. Let them assume. They will walk into their own undoing. You're not here to be decoded. You are here to be unreadable, silent, still. A presence that doesn't flinch. The man who doesn't plead for a seat because he's building his own throne. That begins now. Burn the blueprint they gave you. That map was written by cowards, people who taught you morality only when it served their interests, people who wanted you good when good meant obedient. Be liked, but only when being liked meant being small. That obedience earned you nothing but rejection, confusion, powerlessness dressed up in politeness. So tear it down. Replace everything. Your reactions, your thoughts, your identity. Nothing from the old version survives. That version was designed to be used, predictable, harmless, digestible. Burn him. Strip his skin from your bones. Rebuild with steel. Because you can't lead if you still fear being disliked. You can't rise if you still crave acceptance. Delete the fake confidence. Erase the need for approval. Purge the dreams you diluted to keep others comfortable. Balance? That's for those who don't intend to dominate. You don't need harmony. You need transformation. And transformation is war. Not quiet, not smooth, violent, merciless. Weak men try to evolve without cost. Strong men start at zero, eyes open, blade drawn. This is not about fixing. This is about replacing. You don't patch broken systems. You burn them down. Your comfort zone, that's your coffin. padded with convenience and lined with wasted potential. That fire you feel, it's not panic. It's not anxiety. It is your body telling you to move. That tightness in your chest, it's not fear. It's pressure. Pressure to break the shell. Because rebirth doesn't ask permission. It erupts. And if you don't shatter the old shell, it becomes your grave. Not every death is physical. Some are quieter. A life that never became what it was supposed to be. So your first command is this: delete the man you were trained to be. Say it aloud. My past self is ashes. You are not here to feel better. You are here to build, to architect your own control. Discipline becomes your religion. Power isn't noise, it's composure. You've bled for free long enough? No more. From now on, you are a vault. A weapon with no trigger unless the purpose demands it. No reaction becomes your baseline. You do not flinch. You do not lash out. You watch. You calculate. You let others break themselves. Then, and only then, you move. Your restraint is not weakness. It is war. The war of stillness. The war of silence. You will use your emotions like a general moves troops, precisely, strategically, without mercy for error. Anger is not fuel. It is fire you control. Fear is not a wall. It's a signal. Sadness is not a sinkhole. It is weight you turn into gravity. This world trains men to be emotional so they can be steered. Not you. You will not be read. You will not be moved. You will not be explained. You will become unreadable. The man who reacts is the man who loses. The man who is triggered is the man who is owned. The man who is owned will always be beaten. So here is your law. If it triggers you, it owns you. Fix it or be used forever. From this moment on, you are your own handler. You will master your expression. You will master your tone. You will master your pauses. That half second before you speak, it's your new blade, sharper than anything you say after. You are the silence behind the storm, the breath before the strike. The man who doesn't waste words because he doesn't need them. You only speak when your voice builds empires. Every other moment is calculation. There's a part of you buried, a shadow you were taught to fear, the rage, the fire, the hunger. You locked it away so you could be accepted, so you could be digestible. But that shadow is not a curse. It's your generator. It's raw. It's electric. It's been waiting in the dark for you to remember who you are. Stop hiding it. Start using it. The fire inside you. Let it breathe. The rage that remembers every insult, every betrayal, every time they laughed behind your back. That's not your weakness. That's your foundation. Don't destroy it. Train it. Tame it. Aim it. Build with it. That pain you've been running from? Stack it. Let it become your scaffolding. This is not about healing through peace. It's about forging through pressure. The man who makes peace with his darkness becomes untouchable by it. The one who pretends to be pure, that's the one who crumbles when tested. But you will be different. You will sit with your demons and draft them into your army. Be terrifying, not reckless. Be sharp, not soft. The world doesn't need your purity. It respects your restraint. Power under control. That's what shakes the room. Not screaming, not posturing, but presence. Look in the mirror. Not at the smile you wear, not the practiced expression you've been performing. Look deeper. There's a hunger behind those eyes. That version of you? He doesn't want applause. He wants conquest. He doesn't chase validation. He builds legacy. Give your darkness purpose, and you'll become the man who shifts the air without speaking. The one who doesn't need volume to command respect. You are not meant to be liked. You are meant to be undeniable. Let them feel it when you enter a room, not from your words, but from your silence. Give that power orders. Drag it into the light. Sharpen your instincts. Protect your purpose like a fortress. Weak men fear their own shadows. You will become a man who uses his like armor. Because this war, it won't be won with light alone. Summon the version of you that refuses to break. Say it and mean it. My darkness obeys me. You are not here to escape pain. You are here to weaponize it. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be felt, not seen, sensed, especially in silence. Most people stumble through life with open eyes and blind minds. They react, they assume, they speak without thinking, but not you. You will become the man who watches in stillness, who notices the twitch before the lie, the hesitation before the mask slips. You will train your mind like a sniper. No wasted motion, no wasted emotion, no wasted words. You are not here to be noticed. You are here to notice. When you walk into a room, you are the ghost in the corner, the shadow behind the silence. You do not rush to speak. You study. Who's faking strength? Who breaks silence too quickly? The insecure always fill the room with noise. The weak always overcompensate. But you stay still. You let the scene unfold. You wait for the cracks in their mask. Because real power, it listens, it calculates. It waits for the moment when one word becomes a weapon. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be aware. And awareness is advantage. You watch how they move, not what they say. You track patterns, not promises. You know that loyalty isn't claimed. It's proven. It's repeated. It's quiet. You learn the difference between a smile and a smirk, between agreement and submission. You become fluent in micro-expressions. You read tension like a language. Most people advertise their insecurities while begging to look strong. Let them. You aren't cold, you're precise. You aren't distant, you're calculated. And every moment you delay a response, every time you withhold your reaction, you sharpen your edge. Because in a world of loud men trying to be seen, unreadability is your greatest camouflage. If they can't read you, they can't control you. This isn't manipulation, it's survival. In a world of motives and masks, you either play the game or get played. Say it again. I see what others hide. That is your armor. That is your edge. You walk in silence, but you see everything. They told you to be yourself, but that advice was for those who want to stay small. Nobody ascends by staying the same. The truth is, masks are mandatory. You must become what the moment requires, not what your comfort permits. Authenticity is a luxury. Adaptation is survival. Machiavelli said, "A wise man imitates both the lion and the fox." Become both, but never reveal either. Play virtue when watched. Unleash ruthlessness when alone. Appear generous. Move precisely. To rule the current, control the image. Let your smile calm. Let your silence intimidate. Let your presence say what your voice never has to. This isn't deception. It's design. You are no longer just a personality, you are a brand. A legend. A presence sculpted by discipline. No one climbs high, showing their real hand. No one becomes king without shadow. So play the role, say what they want, then move how you must. Keep them guessing. Keep them comfortable. Feed them illusion. But always, always keep your blade sharp. You don't lie, you maneuver. The man who can adapt to any room is the most dangerous man inside it. Every room is a stage. At work, be the agreeable ally. In negotiation, be the fool until the advantage shifts. In confrontation, look emotional while thinking 3 moves ahead. You control perception, and you control motion. Never show your core. Let them show theirs first. Then strike. Speak less. Mirror when needed. Break when tested. Your masks are not deceit. They are tactical gear. They protect your truth and expose theirs. Predictability is death. Mystery is life. When they say, "I am who I am," know this. They are already caged. But you? You are fluid. You are fire under ice. You walk in a blank slate and become exactly what the moment demands. That is power, the art of unseen dominance. You don't need to be liked. You don't need to be understood. You need control. When they love you, smile. When they envy you, say nothing. When they fear you, let it grow. Never explain. Never correct. Power is perception. Make yourself rare. Make yourself precise. Choose your masks. The diplomat, the phantom, the king. Master them. Use them. Drop them only when alone. Your inner world remains sacred. Your outer world is pure strategy. Say it. I wear masks to rule. You don't play fair. You play effectively. And part of playing effectively means mastering the art of boundaries. You do not rise by being available. You rise by being selective, by being scarce, by being uncompromising. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you sell a piece of your power. Every time you explain your decisions to someone who hasn't earned your truth, you dilute your worth. Boundaries are not selfish. They are sacred architecture. They are the walls that protect the empire you're building. Most men have none, and because of that, they are drained, disrespected, and dismissed. But not you. You no longer trade access for approval. From this point forward, no is your first language. No explanations, no guilt, no apology. If someone resents your boundary, it only means they were benefiting from your lack of it. Good. Let them go. Let the parasites fall away. Let the dependent ones crumble. You are not a crutch. You are a fortress. And fortresses don't bend because someone knocks loud enough. You do not need peace with everyone. You need power over your own life. And power demands space. Power demands limits. The people who call your clarity cruel are simply terrified of confrontation. But confrontation isn't cruelty. It is honesty delivered without emotion. It is clarity without compromise. Look at your circle. Audit it like a ledger. Who drains you? Who asks but never gives? Who wraps entitlement in politeness? These are not allies. These are liabilities. Cut them, not emotionally but surgically. You are not running a motel. You are constructing a legacy. And only those who bring discipline, loyalty, or vision should earn keys to your gate. And even then, the door stays locked until they prove themselves, again and again. Your schedule is sacred. Your time is sovereign. Your presence is earned. Let them wonder where you went. Let them miss you. Because silence creates gravity. Scarcity creates respect. Access must be earned. Remember this. No one deserves entry just because they remember your name. This is your responsibility now, to guard your empire like a general defends his border. You don't need to yell to draw the line. A calm no with eye contact is louder than a scream. Say it without tone, without explanation, without hesitation. And when they push, as they will, you hold. Because your role is not to bend under guilt. It is to enforce your code. Make it clear, this man does not bend. Not for comfort, not for nostalgia, not for anyone. Say it and mean it. My boundaries are law. You are not becoming bitter. You are becoming bulletproof. You are not pushing people away. You are protecting your future. From now on, Your time is currency. Your energy is capital. And your boundaries? Non-negotiable. You do not build circles of comfort. You forge alliances. Friendships are emotional liabilities. Alliances are leverage. You do not rise by collecting people. You rise by aligning with purpose. Ask yourself this: who in your circle sharpens you? Who raises your standard? Who calls out your blind spots? If the answer is no one, then you're not surrounded. You're suffocating. You don't need connection. You need contribution. You don't need bonding. You need alignment. The man who still fears walking alone is not ready to lead. So walk alone if you must. Cut with precision. Keep only those who serve your direction. You are not heartless. You are efficient, and efficiency wins. Say it. I build circles of power. You are not a host. You are a sovereign. You are not a caretaker of comfort. You are a constructor of legacy. And that legacy will not be guarded by kindness. It will be protected by code. Your silence is no longer a void. It is a signal, a sign that control sits quietly, that the storm watches before it strikes. You are no longer one of them. You are the presence they feel, the tension they can't explain. You are becoming a weapon. And silence? It has always been misunderstood by the masses. To them, it's awkward. It's emptiness. It's failure. But to you, it is design. It is power. The pause before the strike, the void that reveals truth. Because the loudest man in the room is always the weakest. He speaks not because his words hold weight, but because he fears being forgotten. His voice fills the space because his soul cannot. But you are different. You are terrifying. Because your silence is not emptiness. It is calculation. It is observation. It is precision, crouched like a lion in tall grass. You don't speak to be heard. You speak to shift gravity. When your mouth opens, the air tightens. The temperature changes. People pause. Because they've learned that your silence is the baseline, and your voice is the event. You are not here to fill gaps. You are here to weaponize them. Every moment you do not speak becomes a mirror. People project onto it their fears, their doubts, their desperate need for validation. You let the silence stretch. You let it cut. You let the tension swell. That is how silence becomes dominance. Speak less, mean more. Let your pauses linger. Let the room squirm. Let your sentences hang like unsheathed blades. And when they beg for comfort, give them clarity. One word, one truth, one strike. Because every unnecessary word is a crack in your armor. Every impulse to explain is a leak in your fortress. You don't explain. You direct. You don't argue. You declare. You don't fill space. You define it. In a world addicted to noise, your silence will feel like thunder. Let others talk first. Let them try to impress you. Let them reveal their hand. You wait. You study. You move last. And when you do, it is with surgical force. That's not charisma. That's psychological warfare. That's presence. And it's yours now. Do not confuse stillness with inaction. Do not confuse silence with retreat. Every breath you hold is pressure. Every pause you sustain is precision. And when the moment comes, you don't explode. You execute. You are not unreadable because you are chaotic. You are unreadable because you are composed. That is the apex predator, not the one who growls, but the one whose gaze makes others hesitate. The one who waits. The one who watches. The one whose presence alone changes behavior. You do not clarify. You do not correct. Let them misunderstand. Let them guess. You are not here to be explained. You are here to be felt. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. Be the question that lingers long after you leave the room. And now you must go further. You must kill the child within, the one who still seeks pleasure like a beggar. Because pleasure is the leash. It masquerades as reward, but its purpose is control. Every time you chase it blindly, you abandon your throne. The world has weaponized pleasure. Cheap dopamine, fast food, fake intimacy, constant distraction. All of it designed to turn lions into house cats. But you are not a cat. You are a storm in chains. And those chains, they are comfort. Comfort is soft. Comfort is warm. Comfort is deadly. Discipline is no longer a practice. It is your religion. It is not what you do. It is what you are. The man who delays gratification, the man who resists impulse, the man who chooses the harder road, he is not denying life. He is claiming it. He becomes inevitable. Because every time you say no to the easy thing, the fast thing, the comforting thing, you are saying yes to the future version of yourself who walks through fire untouched. That is the trade. And most will never make it. They will sell their future for 10 seconds of dopamine, 10,000 trades a year, and they wonder why their kingdom never rises. They wonder why their soul feels hollow. But not you. You will sit in the fire. You will crave nothing that weakens you. You will say no so many times that it becomes muscle memory. Discipline becomes your automatic operating system. The empire you build won't be made of bricks. It will be made of standards. Every discipline you practice is another wall raised, another gate locked, another weakness removed. The man who wins is not the man who wants it most. It is the man who cannot be pulled. He is a fortress of decisions already made. He doesn't wake up asking what feels good. He wakes up asking what builds his fortress. The gym is not about vanity. It's about command. The diet is not about image. It's about fuel. The business is not about money. It's about leverage. The silence is not about absence. It's about threat. Everything you do now has one purpose: dominion. So the next time you're tempted to scroll, to binge, to react, to indulge, remember the cost. Every small choice against your standard is a silent theft. Not of your moment, but of your future. That's the price of pleasure without purpose. That's the cost of compromise. The kings who endure don't look like kings when they're building. They don't glow. They grind. Their crowns aren't golden. They're forged in rituals no one applauds. 10,000 small decisions stacked in silence. Invisible victories. Quiet dominance. That is your path now. You don't need attention. You need momentum. You don't need applause. You need control. Because power isn't proven through noise. It radiates from stillness. And still, every day, you will be tested. Every day a new pleasure will claw for your attention. And your job is not to resist. It is to dominate. To walk past temptation, not with effort, but with indifference. You are not denying yourself because you are weak. You are denying it because you are already full. Full of purpose, full of fire, full of code. That is your new addiction. Not chaos, not comfort, not validation. Discipline, precision, immovability. Say it and mean it. Pleasure obeys my discipline. Because now it does. And if it doesn't, you cut it. You subtract it from your life like a cancer. Understand this truth. The world does not reward restraint. It rewards consumption. But your restraint, it is your revolt. It is your rebellion. It is your resistance to a world that wants you soft, that wants you numb. While they binge, you build. While they chase highs, you stack legacy. While they burn in indulgence, you become fireproof. And one day, not by chance, not by luck, you will walk into a room and silence it. Not because you are loud, because you are undeniable. A man who cannot be moved, a man who cannot be seduced, a man whose power isn't performed, it is felt. That kind of presence does not come from words. It is the echo of decisions made in solitude. It is the result of a man who mastered himself in the dark, when no one saw, when no one clapped, when no one understood. Because becoming the storm is not a moment, it is a pattern, a ritual, a code etched in every repeated action. And every small act of discipline you perform in silence is another brick in your throne. You were not born to chase pleasure. You were born to wield it, to master it, to make it kneel before your mission. You touch it only when it serves, never before. And when others collapse into desire, you will stand still among the ruins, untouched, because your kingdom was not built on sand. It was built on silence, on fire, on the refusal to bow, on the rejection of everything unworthy of your destiny. Even then, when your fire is feared, when your presence commands, when your name is spoken behind closed doors, you do not stop. Because that is the final trap, the illusion that you've arrived, that you've done enough, that now you get to rest. That illusion is death dressed as victory. It whispers peace but delivers rot. You will never stop building, never stop sharpening, never stop watching, because now you understand, the throne is not a prize, it is a responsibility, and it must be earned daily, guarded hourly, reinforced relentlessly. Power is not a possession, it is a pulse. And you keep it alive with every act of intention, every rejection of comfort, every motion made with clarity. Say it now. Nothing owns me but mission. That is the law. You were taught to believe the game would end, that one day there would be a summit, a finish line, money in the bank, silence from your enemies, respect on command, peace without price. But that is the most seductive lie of all. The game doesn't end. It evolves. The second you stop climbing, the world starts chewing through everything you've built. Comfort is the assassin in silk robes. It smiles while it kills. It sings lullabies while it rots your edge. You do not arrive. You survive. You outmaneuver. You refine. You evolve. Every crown you earn today will be tested tomorrow by time, by temptation, by enemies waiting for you to sleep. There are no finish lines. There is only pressure and response, erosion or evolution. You are not what you've achieved. You are what you continue to execute when no one is watching, especially then. Your standard must outlive applause. Your precision must ignore praise. You don't need fans, you need fire, and fire lives in code, something etched deep, something cold, something sovereign. You are not the man who burns once and fades. You are the furnace. You are the system. So what if you've done enough? Double it. So what if you've outpaced your enemies? Outpace your old self. This battlefield changes every day. The threats mutate. The weapons evolve. And the world will not spare you just because you were strong yesterday. Power is not a trophy. It is a pattern, a pulse, a decision made every day before the world wakes. You must rise with it. You must defend what you've built, not with fear, but with ritual, with repetition, with precision. The world does not ask who you were. It demands to know who you are, right now, under pressure. And if your answer is outdated, the game will eat you alive. So stay sharp when things feel safe. Stay cold when life feels warm. Stay disciplined when there's no applause to validate your grind. That is what separates kings from corpses. The man who mistakes achievement for a rival has already begun to decay. He dulls his blade with celebration. But you, your edge is your essence. It is not a phase. It is not a mood. It is a principle. And it must be forged daily. Not out of paranoia, but out of precision. You know exactly what rest costs. It costs awareness. It costs advantage. And advantage in this world is everything. A dull mind invites attack. A distracted man bleeds before the battle begins. So you remain sharp even in peace. You stay poised when they think you're sleeping. You are the ghost with teeth. Always watching, always waiting, always 2 steps ahead. Not because you're afraid, but because you are responsible. This is not obsession. This is power management. Let the others collapse into fantasies. Let them believe in the myth of finally making it. Let them rot in softness. You were not built to rest. You were built to reign. And reigning is not a throne you sit on. It's a war you fight quietly, endlessly, and without applause. You don't need validation. You need vigilance. Because power, true power, is not in what you've collected. It's in what you've become. Precision is your loyalty. Discipline is your creed. Silence is your spear. That is the difference between those remembered and those erased. But never confuse movement with mastery. Every grinder boasts about the hustle. Few refine, few direct their effort with elegance. It's not about waking up early. It's about what you do when the world is asleep. It's not about lifting heavy. It's about building a mind that doesn't fold under pressure. Mastery is not noise. It's not hype. It is quiet, ruthless accuracy. It's doing what matters when no one's watching. It's repetition when the motivation dies. It's the moment you look into the mirror and say, even if it all burns down, I will rebuild. Faster, colder, cleaner, because I am the system now. That's when you know you've become the weapon. When nothing outside you defines your identity. When no loss dismantles your core. Because the core is not a shell, it is a forge. The mindset is internal. The edge is instinct. You've deleted weakness. You've replaced it with architecture no one can steal. That is what kings are made of. Not gold, not applause, not fame. Kings are born from self-sufficiency under pressure, from silence under chaos, from focus under fire. And even then, when you are unshaken, unreadable, untouchable, you don't stop, you don't celebrate, you recalibrate, because the sharpest blade dulls fastest. You polish the edge every single day, not out of fear, out of precision, because you remember, comfort is the soft kiss that kills the conqueror. You keep your sword drawn, even in peace, because peace is where most men die. You move like a shadow, light-footed, eyes sharp, purpose anchored, and when they think you're still, you're already gone. You're already moving again. Because this is not a motivational speech. This is your doctrine. You are not surviving. You are dominating. Quietly, methodically, intentionally. You wake not to respond, but to rebuild. Brick by brick, layer by layer. Not because you've lost it, but because you know what keeping it costs. The man who builds once and stops dies slowly. The man who builds forever becomes a force, not a trend, not a phase, but a blueprint studied in silence, feared in rooms he hasn't even entered. But that is not your goal. Respect is a side effect. Your true aim is sovereignty, inner command over chaos, control of the battlefield inside your skull, because that is the final war. Not the market, not the competition, not the crowd, the war within, against the urge to quit, against the hunger for comfort, against the voice that still wants applause, against the child who still wants to be seen. Kill that voice. Replace it with law. Replace it with a code that does not flinch when pain speaks. Replace it with mission, something etched so deep that excuses drown before they form. And when that becomes your baseline, when the storm inside you no longer rattles but obeys, you are free. Not free from struggle, free from emotional slavery, free from manipulation, free from compromise. Say it until your lungs believe it. I am the storm in human form. That is not a metaphor. That is your nature. You walk into rooms and the air changes, not because you perform, because you exist with intention. You no longer ask for space. You occupy it. You no longer beg for respect. You embody it. You don't lead with ego. You lead with gravity. That is the final transformation. You are no longer here to be understood. You are here to be unforgettable. Now you understand. This isn't motivation. It's identity. This isn't hype. It's architecture. You are not here to play the game. You are here to bend it, rewrite it, own it. Every word you've consumed, every silence you've endured, every demon you've faced, all of it brought you here. You are no longer a man. You are will weaponized. You are pain refined. You are silence calculated. You are discipline crowned. You have stopped chasing peace. You've started building legacy. You've stopped reacting. You've started directing. You are no longer shaped by them. You are the shape. You are the structure. And structure doesn't beg. It demands. From now on, you don't wish for strength. You enforce it. You don't hope for respect. You make it non-negotiable. You don't look for leaders. You become one. And if this voice lit a fire inside you, don't clap. Don't comment. Build. Move. Enforce. The war is not out there. It's inside. And every step you take in silence will be felt in thunder. This is not motivation. This is war. And every war needs a ruler.